You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith. Hey there, Sprouts. Today is Wednesday, May 6, 2020. This week on the Catholic Sprouts podcast, we are talking about the apparition to Juan Diego of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Now, this happened almost 500 years ago, shortly after the Spanish explorers had arrived in what is currently Mexico. They had defeated the Aztecs, who were a brutal tribe that were constantly sacrificing humans to their pagan gods. Mary appeared to a poor Indian man named Juan Diego. She met him many times and asked him to go to the archbishop and ask him to have a chapel built for her on that spot. Now, the archbishop was a good and holy man, but he told Juan Diego that he needed a sign before he would start building a chapel. Mary promised to give Juan Diego a sign the following day, but Juan Diego's uncle fell sick and Juan was unable to return to the hill for several days. Then, as he was running to get a priest who might hear his uncle's confession before he died, he went on the far side of the hill, hoping to avoid Mary, but she appeared there anyway. And here is what happened. So Mary appeared to Juan Diego, even though he was trying to avoid her, and she was smiling and friendly, and called him her dearest and most beloved son. Now, it's not that she preferred Juan Diego to any of us, is that she loves and cherishes each of us so very much, almost as if we each are her favorite. Now, she told Juan Diego not to worry. Please don't worry, she said. And he explained to her that his uncle was dying. She said, please don't worry. Your uncle is healed. There's no reason to go and get a priest. And Juan Diego believed her. She told him instead to go up to the top of the hill and to gather roses that were up there, and that these roses would serve as the sign to the archbishop that indeed Mary, the mother of Jesus, was appearing to Juan Diego and that the chapel should be built. Now, Juan Diego went to the top of the hill, and amazingly, there was a bush covered in roses. This was amazing for two reasons. First of all, it was not the right season. There was frost on the ground from the night before. And secondly, they were in such an arid place in the desert that only thistles and cactus grew there. So the idea that a rose bush was blooming was miraculous. Juan Diego picked the roses and then headed down the hill. When he got there, Mary came and helped him arrange the roses in his tilma. Now, a tilma is like a big poncho. It's kind of like a big blanket with a hole on the top that you slip your head through, and it keeps the whole top of your body warm. As we said, Juan Diego was a poor Indian man, so his wife had likely made this tilma for him, and it was made out of cactus fibers. Now, Mary directed him to go straight to the archbishop's office and not to show the roses to anyone until he was standing in front of the archbishop. So Juan Diego obeyed. Once again, he went to the archbishop's office, and once again, all the people standing outside the office said to themselves, "Oh, goodness, here is that crazy Indian man again, back to bother the archbishop." But the archbishop let him in eventually. And when he entered, Juan Diego opened his tilma and the roses fell to the ground. Now, the bishop was amazed by the roses because these roses were roses that only bloom in Spain, where he was from. But then he looked at Juan Diego's tilma. And as they looked, all of the men in the room saw the image of Our Lady of Guadalupe appear on the tilma. Now, this is a vivid, beautiful image, very colorful, very detailed. Mary is standing on it and looks like an Aztec princess. It is full of bright colors with the stars around her and flowers on her dress. It is a beautiful image. And it was miraculous because it was there on his rough tilma made out of cactus fibers. Now, this is, of course, the miracle that the Archbishop had asked for. He knew for certain that it was Mary who was appearing to Juan Diego, and immediately they got to work building the chapel. Now, so many amazing things happened. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how this image of Our Lady Guadalupe is amazing in 100 million different ways. When I tell you about it, your mind will explode. But even more important than that, we are going to talk on Friday about all of the amazing things that happened in Mexico in the 8 years after Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared. It is incredible. So wait for that. But for today, my friends, my challenge for you is to find an image of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Look at it. Look at her face. Look at the way she is dressed. Look at the objects she's standing on and what's around her. Study it all, because this is what we are going to be talking about tomorrow. And you are going to find it even more exciting if you have a good idea of what the image looks like. That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be. Welcome to May, my friends. To celebrate the month of Mary, we are offering our rosary materials at as accessible a price as we can. We're offering the rosary booklets for adults at half off, and we've also discounted our board book rosary set, just in the hope that Mary can really be a comfort for you as we continue these days of isolation and uncertainty. You can check out both of these products or also start earning your own rosary patch by committing to pray to the rosary for 30 days in a row. Information on both of these things can be found in links that are included in the notes for this episode.